Hello, everybody. Hayden Klein here from HK Digital Reviews, and it's time for a review of the new Black Keys album, Let's Rock. Now, the Black Keys, they've been around for much longer than I actually expected, because I only heard them from their 2008 album called Attack and Release, which I only really knew one song from, I Got Mine, which is actually a pretty great track, actually. It was one of my favorite Black Keys tracks. But I really didn't hear about them until their albums Brother and El Camino, which came out 1 year apart from each other. Two of their biggest albums by far. El Camino holding two of their biggest songs with Lonely Boy and Gold on the Ceiling, which were big radio hits. I remember hearing them on the radio all the time when they came out. And I kind of followed with them. I didn't really look into their stuff, which was kind of odd for me back in the day. But I guess their mix of blues rock and garage rock, I guess, just didn't resonate with me as much as it should have, probably back in the day. And I was thinking about getting into them, but then they released the album Churn Blue, which I heard about two singles from that album, did not care for any of them, and just completely bypassed that entire album completely. And so my adventures into the Black Keys is not very deep. It's more surface level, and it's not really anything that I can really say too much on. I can't say whether they're a consistent band or whether they're a hit and miss band. But from what I've seen from reviews and ratings and stuff like that, they're actually a rather consistent band. So I may just have to look into them at some point just to really see what I feel personally of their discography as a whole. But I did give this Let's Rock album a shot because it's their first album in 5 years. So obviously something has to be. Might have put some more creative spices into this one. Who knows? I really can't judge too much. I haven't really listened to their older stuff, but I will say from these songs that I have heard, this album doesn't necessarily branch out different from that. And I guess in a way that kind of actually becomes partly a downfall to this band because there's a good amount of songs on here that have the more same old style that they've had from the past, I don't know, 9 years or so, according to what I've actually heard. And but it's not to say that there aren't songs that sound different on here. Like take the opening track, "Shine a Little Light," for example, has a slight funk twist and a funk vibe to it in the verses of the song. And the instrumentation is actually kind of simple on this, pretty simple. But the fact is, the production definitely sounds more cleaner, I guess you could say, but not like overly clean to where it's just kind of like generic, not generic, but like synthetic sounding. It sounds like actual instruments, but the guitar and the bass fuse much better than I've heard Black Keys tracks before fused together. So I was pretty happy with the start of this thing, and it did become my favorite track on this entire album, and subsequently one of my favorite Black Keys songs. But then you have songs that just kind of really just sound like what I've heard before, like Breaking Down, or or Under the Gun, or Easy Little Thing, Get Yourself Together. Although I like Get Yourself Together a little bit more than usual, because basically, once again, everything just sounds right. It sounds like everything's mixed together pretty well. The guitars sound a little better than the other tracks beforehand. It kind of gives it more of a flair than other tracks. But Walk Across the Water again. It's a slower, sweet song, but it does sound like something you would have heard from one of their earlier albums with not much branching out. I will say though, the track "Go" is another one of my new favorite Black Keys songs. Short, simple, but it's got a much deeper, kind of almost heavier guitar tone to it. I think it's very nice. I think the riff it produces from it has a catchiness to it. The beat all around's more hyper and more, I don't know, I guess just pleasurable to the ears to put it. But in this 12 track album, again, it just kind of seems like their sound is still there, but you can almost tell it's starting to maybe go downhill a little bit. And that's on the song, what is it called here? Oh, where the hell did it go? Ah, yes. Tell Me Lies, which is easily the most boring song I've heard from the Black Keys by far, actually. It is this track that has instrumentation that doesn't really do anything special at all. It kind of is there. It's simple, but not like simple like um um Shine a Little Light was. This is like simple, like there's no guitar progression really. It's just kind of there. The singing is just, it's just there. The drumming is just kind of there. It's just kind of a song they made to put onto an album just to have an extra track on it, kind of sounds like. So I guess technically it's filler, but I don't know. I don't know. It's just kind of like one of those tracks on this album that's just sounds more exciting than I think it actually is. It just really kind of brings the album down a step lower. And when it comes to this album, I don't really think there's actually much more to say than that, to be honest with you. It's just a Black Keys project that doesn't necessarily go above and beyond what they're known for. And after 5 years, you would think that they would probably release something with a little bit more, meat to it, maybe a little bit more something interesting, some more flavor. Which, again, they attempted on a couple songs on here, and for the most part worked. But it's still just kind of like no progression necessarily. And an artist doesn't necessarily need to progress to keep making good music. That's not what I'm trying to say here at all. But what I am trying to say is that when it comes to certain sounds and certain types of music, I do sometimes wish that an artist will try to branch out and try to make a more different a yeah, more of a difference with their sound and maybe attempt to do something more, I guess I would say, interesting, or I don't want to say experimental music, but experiment with different kind of sounds, different kind of guitar tones, whatnot. But hey, if this is what they're gonna keep doing, I'm not gonna be against it. I'm just thinking that they're not gonna release anything as great as they did in the past, which, from what I've seen, yeah, I don't know. So I guess that's basically what I have to say about this. I can't really think of much else to say except that this is a Black Keys record that's once again decently made, but it doesn't really have any special bells and whistles to it that you'd think at this point in the career they may end up trying to put into. And in the end, some of the songs start to kind of sound more drab, start to kind of sound the same, kind of start to sound like the band doesn't have much of anywhere to go. But having said that, I still did enjoy this record more than I disliked it. I do like a few songs on here that more than normal for rock songs. Again, the track Shine a Little Light and Go are pretty great songs. Also enjoyed Get Yourself Together. I think they're definitely a great addition to the discography. But with as many albums as they have, which is, if I just check real quick, a decent amount. One, two, three, four. Yeah, it's about, I think this is their ninth album now. So at this point, they could have done a little more. They could have done a little more, especially again given that they had 5 years in between albums after Turn Blue, which again I didn't really give a listen to because I didn't care for the singles on that one. But that's just my opinion on this. Overall, decent. I like the majority of it, but there's definitely some looking into for their next project, whenever that's going to be, for the Black Keys to improve on. Maybe try to go to a different kind of style, or maybe try to do some kind of guitar changes or whatnot. But this duo still is showing they have talent. They're definitely not going to go away anytime soon. I do think that they can probably come back and release something that's more introspective, maybe more daring, I guess is the word to say it. But anyways, with that, I would say that the Black Keys, Let's Rock, will get a 6.5 out of 10. Um, yeah, and that is it. So, thank you everybody for watching. If you like this video, leave a like, comment, subscribe if you want to see more. Did you like this album? Did you not like this album? Do you think the Black Keys are fine with the style they're doing? Or do you also think that they need to progress? Just topics you can discuss down below. One more thing too before I forget. Um, as of July 5th, I'm recording this, and it's going to be posted July 5th as well. Sunday I was planning on doing my weekly music quick reviews, which would be the second episode. But I was also thinking maybe instead of that doing that this weekend I should say, I'll do a video of my favorite albums of 2019 and subsequently some of my favorite songs of 2019 as well. If you're interested in that, comment down below. I'll probably have a poll on my Instagram account and probably the Facebook account as well. And upcoming reviews, Thank You Scientist. That one, I did say I was going to do Thank You Scientist. And I think I'll stick to doing that one next. I think I will do a full review on that one next. That one's going to take a little longer because I believe it is over an hour. I did listen to most of it, but then had to cut my listening time short. So I'll give it another listen. I'll give it a go. I'll try to get that one out maybe Monday or Tuesday. That would be the plan for that particular review. Besides that, I don't think I have much of anything to say. So thank you all so much for watching. And as always, have a nice day.